Okay. Okay. So the today's speaker, Mr. Myoin from Myanmar, and he is the maybe moderator will give us more the introduction. But we are the old friends too. We first met in Phnom Penh, in Cambodia, right? 2012, okay, more than 10 years before, right? During our conference. And he's representing one NGO called Smile Myanmar as an executive director, okay? Okay, so his presentation for over 30 minutes, okay, or more if you need. And then we open to the floor and we can have a free discussion. Ayesha, welcome. Okay, Ayesha.
Hi,
Okay, Professor Ayesha. Okay, Abu Bakr. How's your life there in the new place from Kitakona below, Konabala? You moved to the new place, Penang. Ayesha, long time no see. Okay, welcome. Okay.
Thank you for allowing me to invite my students.
Of course, yeah. We really.
We have around 13 students here. They are taking the course on principles of social development.
Okay.
So
Right.
they'll be interested to find out what is the status of social development in Myanmar today, given the martial rule, and then if the people have enough access to public health care. Do the children still continue to go to school? How life is like for ordinary citizens in Myanmar. So we are very excited to listen to Myo Win.
Yes. Wonderful. Yes, wonderful.
But where are they? I don't see them.
Oh, they are here. There's Shalin. Shalin, can you show your camera? There's Wilmer. Many of the students are from Africa. Some from Indonesia. Muhammad Rafi is from Aceh. Who else? I think Rahmatul Husna is also from Indonesia. Okay, and I think the others will also join. Faith is also from Africa.
Oh, yeah, wonderful. Okay, all students, okay, welcome to our forum. Of course, here the senior members, okay, we respect the senior members, okay, their experience and their knowledge, but we need more, young scholars or young, these students who are the future leaders, okay. We welcome, and this forum, even online forum, will be, very you can use it for your alternative, some class or any opportunity anytime. Okay, we welcome you. So okay, I would like to invite today's moderator. Okay, and the screen is yours, Mr. Raymond Ciriaco. Okay.
Thank you, Song Ho, and good evening, everybody. Allow me to give a brief introduction. Yu Myo Win, he was born in Yangon in 1978 to a Muslim family. Myo Win was raised in an era of community fear, which was due to the military junta's policies, and he personally experienced the injustice of discrimination towards minorities. Yu Win is a husband, father, human rights activist, and founder and executive director of a non-governmental organization working to raise the silent and moderate voices and ensure social justice for ethnic and religious minorities in Myanmar. He serves as a team leader for the Interfaith Council of Myanmar and voluntary deputy head of mission of the Al-Azhar Islamic Institute of Myanmar. He's a prominent member of the Yangon education and human rights community, and has been recognized for his leadership in the facilitation of significant community pursuits. No? So while he's living away for a year now, away from Yangon, he's a 2018 Clyde Snow Social Justice Awardee from Oklahoma University. So, Myo Win, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Mr. Raymond. I'm really glad you are very kind introduction, and our old participant and new participant. I really encourage for the new students who learn about who would like to came to land for Burma or Myanmar. So I used to make a start with some of the scenario, So I used to say like I born in Burma. I used to say I born in Burma, in Myanmar. That even that terminology, crazy interpretation of politicizing of the country. It's a long time, So people live. I like to be a little bit. Many people know our old friends, about Burma and what happened in Burma. How situation in Burma. But I also aware of new students here, so I like a little bit background or 5 to 10 minutes. So Burma actually so Burma actually in Southeast Asia. And also we are also part of South Asia, So Burma is like junction, in Southeast Asia and the connection with the South Asia and also North Asia too. So very interesting geographical, geopolitical, because we are bordering with China. If China, they are so-called the, Silk Road from Burma actually to go out to the Southeast Asia from Burma. It's like, they are making now, it's so-called the railways, they are planned, but not yet success yet, So because of a lot of political instability. So at the same time, connection with, between India and China, we are, of course, I used to say, we are a small country. So sandwich between India and China, So sandwich, we are a little tiny middle, So at the same time, South Asia, part of South Asia and part of Southeast Asia, and sandwich between India and China. So geopolitically, very interesting and strategically. We also, similar like other South Asian and Southeast Asian country that colonized by the British since 1885. So and then we gained independence in 1948. So after 1 year of India and also the Pakistan, but that time I'd like to be a little bit highlights a bit debate among the political leader during that period. So what that mean is like, we will take independent like in dominion status or pure independent. So big debate. So at that time, it's very popular ideology is communism. Communism ideology is very popular. About 40 to 50 about that. So that period is like people are willingness. Oh, we wanted for pure independent. We will stand with our own. Like that, So majority of the leader, particularly for young leader, who are so-called independent independent father of the country, but he said that he's a little bit ideologically, very communist. But I noticed that he willingness to, he don't want to take the dominion status like Malaysia or other countries, So we took independent purely in 1948. So I think after a few days later, one of the group started to be, armed struggle, So just started to highlight that, that is a little bit background of the country. And then we are started independent with the parliamentary democracy system. So like a British system, So in the Constitution of 1947. So that is like, but we are negotiated with many ethnic groups, and then we get independent together. We have some agreement called the Penlong Agreement. That agreement is mentioning that we have to live together for 10 years, After 10 years, if we don't want it, we will be separated. So-called federalism is started. But the reality is like always the Burmese nationalism and Burmese Buddhist politicizing and domination is against to other ethnic minority. So people are start to talk about for their rights and their independent, and also their responsibility as well. So mean that so much problematic. And after 10 years of the so-called parliamentary democracy, military started to take the country, so in 1958. So I mean, just only 10 years we are living under the so-called democratic way of system. At the same time, we call that the parliamentary system. But after 1958, military start to take partial authority, so-called interim government made by the military with the negotiation with the other political leaders. Without that, they will coup. So I mean, this is two options. Are you allowed to coup, or we will negotiate together and take it 2 years, and then they said that they will be maintaining country union, so-called union. Also, we don't want the separation of countries. So I mean, that is like that. After that, they make election in 1960, and then one of the former ruling party also win again. So, but unfortunately, in 1962, military coup back again. Since that time, we are living under the military rules. So I born the time under the military rules. So I live, so even life my age, now like 40 plus, but I never have the chance to live under the democratic practice, under the democratic ways, under the democratic norms, under the democratic human right, and but the same, they have a many divide and rule policy by the military. They giving the favor to the people who are very close with them, and then they are oppressed who are against, or who they thought that who are potentially against, or who are not follow their ways, So this is oppressed, and so I mean, that's the way we live long time, So so-called system were activated. Like in 1962 military coup, they keep with the uniform for 12 years, and after 12 years, they change their uniform, and they make a so-called Burmese way to socialism. So not the socialist, purely socialist, so-called Burmese way to socialism. So crazy, some of the terminology, even in not really, people have criticized, oh, you are not doing that like a socialist way. So they said, no, this is not the pure socialist. We are interpreted Burmese way to socialist, So I mean, something like a little bit crazy. So that's taken in 1974, the new constitution come up. So one party system, and then until 1988, people demonstration or people uprising and revolution started again for military handover to other young military, former military leader hand over to young military leader to take back again for country in 1988, and then they do for another constitution. So that constitution, even very crazy constitution, military is partial, like 1/4 of the parliament, military was sit with uniform, and in the cabinet, military take 1/4 of the cabinet member, and then the biggest authority is so-called the so-called state security council. That is, most of them are military people, but including president and vice president and foreign minister. So so that system, they make it, people don't like it, but no choice, That's made by the former military leader. And then he hand over to another military leader, and they take 5 years, change uniform military people, and then another 5 years, so-called democratic icon, Madam Aung San Suu Kyi, is to lead the country, but she cannot take as a president because according to the crazy constitution, are not allowed to her to be a president because of, she has 2 sons in United Kingdom. So those are, they are not the Burmese citizen. So the person cannot be a president who their family member are other country citizen. So that's mean targetedly or intentionally make the clause for her not to be a president. So I mean, that's, you know, and that constitution, also very rigid constitution, not easy to not easy to you know, amend or, you know, change something. So mean so, and then again, for even those they are taking the power 1/4, we call the quasi-civilian government. But unfortunately, in 2020 election, so her party, Aung San Suu Kyi, her party is landslide victory again. And then, so it is like, you know, argument or, you know, allegation by the military that election fraud or election, you know, bullying by the ruling party, they said. And a lot of, you know, so that is in 2020 election. So after that, they do a lot of statement by the military. So finally, ruling party not discuss with them. So because of, according to the election law, election commission is like final authority. So election commission is already, you know, declare for election result and, you know, everything. So according to their, this law also made by the military, you know, and not by the, you know, the ruling party, you know, formally they make it. So, but unfortunately, they are not happy to keep the power for this so-called civilian people. So they took again military coup. They coup again. So again for chaos, you know. So along the way is killing, you know, to the public demonstration, you know, a lot of brutality, you know, to the public who demonstrated, who against, you know, so chaos. And, you know, now no more peacefully demonstration. Now many people are moved, many people are arrested, killed, tortured, and then so people have moved out to the country. Some of them are moved to the jungle, and then they are fight back. You know, the people now very easy, not easy to talk about for peace, so-called peace. You know, people not believe in peace. So people thought that now majority, I mean, so many of the revolutionists, if we talk about the peace, she will be blamed. This is not good sign, not a good sign, you know, as a human rights person to, so I mean, people wanted to fight back for this military, or military who support the military. That's also another extreme. So I mean, now so-called people defense forces are fighting back everywhere together with former old legacy ethnic revolution organization or ethnic armed groups. So I mean, globally fundraising for GAN to fight back to Myanmar military. So that's also very little bit crazy, but also that is, you know, current condition. And yes, so like me as a human rights defender or so-called peacemaker, or who are promoting for non-violence activists, so not easy to live inside the country, not only by the military side, you know. Now, if you talk about for non-violent struggle, like Gandhi or Martin Luther King, or, you know, but people may be, oh, you are one of the plant of the military, they may say, you know. So another side also, we don't know who has again. Now, it's anytime you can be shot. So I mean, there is no justice now. Not easy to find the justice, and also, of course, a freedom of expression perspective, not possible. Both sides, you know, both sides. Not only military side, and now it's like analyzing. So, but also the so-called opposition side, or they have also armed struggle. So they also have the similar ideology. So means if you are not support, the perception is, the ideology is, if you are not support them, they said you are part of the you know, military, or you are support our military. This is also another blame game, you know. So terrible condition, and unfortunately, global power player also playing for Burma, like Burma military, long-term collaboration with China, because of Burma since 1962 to 2010 under the military rule, United States and Europe also did for the sanction against Burma. So Burmese military access only with China. So China influenced so much to Burma. So this is also one point. But after this coup, very little bit more than that, you know, very strange military leader, also very closely working with Russia. So that's why, you know, Russia invaded to Ukraine. So Myanmar military leader officially said they are support. You know, so I mean, more collaboration with Russia, but even though people thought that Russia and China always supporting to Burma in Security Council and in, you know, different panel, but in, I don't know among them what happening, but the Chinese government not so much happy with Myanmar military now because of Myanmar military so close with Russia right now. So I mean, between that, a lot of crazy and, you know, political debating between in very secretly happening. And then, so China, even bordering with Burma, they also supported some of the ethnic arms group for as a buffer, you know, bordering with Burma and in China, you know. So they have supported a lot of arms group, you know, in different way, trading with armed groups, you know. So something like, you know, so now China gave it then for green light for so-called three brother alliance. So three brother ethnic group. One is like ethnic group called the Ta'aung, and then one is called the AA. AA is Arkan Army, and other one is like MNDAA. That is like Kokan arms group. So these three group, so-called brothers, you know, alliance brother. So I mean, Chinese, I think, you know, in this is maybe Texas understanding with Chinese, you know, regional government and these arms group, Texas understanding, maybe not written agreement, you know, of course, you know. So they, without giving green light, these three brothers cannot move. They are supported by the China a long time. So I mean, they fight it back to the military in northern Shan State area. So every day it's like fighting now, almost 2 months already, daily fighting. And of course, Myanmar military also, they're easy to fight back for this condition, but they're not fight back too much. They just, you know, stepping back in some area. It's a little bit story is, you know, little bit like, you know, strange scenario. So I mean, really highlighted for updated for this information. This is a recent, and also, and again, for a lot of this gambling issue also exists. So some border areas, a lot of casino, and then a lot of, you know, gambling run by the Myanmar military, some of the Myanmar military people, and then so-called Boragat people. So-called these Boragat people are under the military, and then similarly, and Chinese governments thought that this is like against for their national interests, because many Chinese and even in smuggler issue exists, human trafficking issue, a lot of issues are involved in that territory. So Chinese government sent the list of the people who they wanted them. So Myanmar military not hand over them. So some of the political issue is like exists, and then but finally that happening and people are suffering. Almost 60,000 people are now in not easy to live there, and they move to other safer place. So regional crisis. At the same time, a lot of people killed for both sides, so that is for current, but a lot of rumors. The country would live rumors, so fake news, disinformation, misinformation issue as always exists. So military also control for the fuel issue, so not easy to find the fuel. So high price and inflation very high right now. So all economic impacts. So at the same time, I'd like to highlight that, those area are, food shortage, because you cannot easy to travel, move, carry, So that one point. The second point, the school or university cannot run because the fighting. So those area are, students are suffering. Yes, at the same time, social equality, social justice issue is also still problematic and terrible. So so maybe I'd like to be giving more time to your question, so that would be great, and I can be directly highlighted and give based on your question. So I may end for my update for today. So, thank you so much.
Thank you
And
for giving us a very
Yes.
very comprehensive update of both the history and what has gone so far. Of course, it's sad to hear how things have deteriorated. Although I'm glad that you're safe there, outside of Myanmar, compared to the last time we were trying to connect with you, and it was hard to get connected on internet. And we've always been wanting to know what's going on inside Myanmar. Uh, for me, I mean, I have 2 attempts of visiting. I have friends there already, those who have joined me in other mission. But yeah, it's different when hearing it from somebody who's actually lived there. So anyway, I'd like to give way for questions coming from anybody, regular members or our students. Please kindly unmute. Yes, Zam, go ahead. Please unmute.
Yes. Thank you, Raymond. Thank you, Myowin. Sung Ho was already smiling because he knows that I will have questions to ask. Okay, thank you, Myowin, for your presentation and update on the situation in Myanmar. I have to say that, uh it's very, very discouraging, looking at the situation, as it is. And we know that the problems, seems to be piling in Myanmar. And the problems, it's like never ending problem for the Myanmar people. So I have, full sympathy, for the victims of the situations in, the long suffering Myanmar, Burmese people. But I just want to maybe ask you on a couple of things. First, in regards to the situation now in Shan State, and we have seen the escalation of the conflict. The conflict has intensified and has, as you mentioned, a lot of victims. People have been displaced, moving from there to other places, and countries that have citizens in that area also have been repatriating their citizens out of Myanmar and giving lots of warning and so on. Is there a possibility of that particular situation escalating to other parts of the country, because we know that there are also many other ethnic armed groups that are fighting against the Myanmar government, and they might be thinking that, look, what's happening over there is something that we want to follow, and then they might want to intensify their armed actions in regards to against this military junta, and when that happens, you can see all around Myanmar, there will be violence, and violence will be intensified, and I would have to say that looking at it from from a slightly negative perspective, there might even be civil war coming ahead in Myanmar. So my first question is, how do you see that? Do you see possibility of that happening? Because even in the western part of Myanmar, I think even in Rakhine State, there have been also some issues, and Arakan Army and then the ARSA have been fighting, intensifying their fightings. And over the last few weeks, we have seen many more Rohingya refugees coming to Indonesia, coming to Malaysia. The boat people are coming back again. So that is, I think, one of the direct implication of the situation in Myanmar. So it's worrying, very much worrying for the situation for the people in Myanmar, but in the region, I think the whole region will be affected. So I would want to know your take on this thing. Is this situation going to get even more worse? So if you allow me another question, this is also in regards to the military junta. We know that in 2019, the Gambia has taken the case to the ICJ, and accused the Myanmar junta of genocide. And the case has been accepted by the ICJ, but I have not seen any progress in that case. I know that the Myanmar government has been replying to some of these allegations of genocide, but it seems like they don't care so much what the ICJ is saying, or the court case brought by Gambia. Do you have any update on that particular situation? I'll just start with these two questions, and later on, if there are no other questions, I have a few more. So thank you again, Myo Win.
Yeah, go ahead, Myo Win, please.
Okay, thank you. So very interesting and very good. You are, holistic, understanding of Burma. I really appreciated that. But the question is that, of course, the regional instability is really, really hard. I think the end game is like not easy right now. I think Myanmar, I'd like to repeat again. I don't want to say this the terms, Myanmar is like world longest civil war countries. That's really terrible, So since independent until today, so world longest civil, more than 75 years already, never end. So because there's like injustice and inequality and, no partial power, and also the monopolizing for the natural resources and then the land, So I mean, that's one of them is like people, the long time, the Myanmar politician or military, making the, propaganda against the Rohingya, So I mean, the people hate to Rohingya, and that's why, genocide happened, So long time slow ban genocide, and then textbook of ethnic cleansing, and then later, or now it's like globally people are recognized already for Myanmar as genocidal country. including United States and some Europe country, So now going back to ICJ against to Myanmar authority, but so after coup, so I mean, even former so-called civilian government also defends for that coup, for that, ICJ case. So I mean, that's really people upset for her standing, perspective. She is Nobel laureate. She is, a lot of democracy, popular, a lot of democratic, she's a democratic icon. And then, but she stand with the military together for the defenses, but people are very upset. But unfortunately, that ICJ accepted, So fortunately, unfortunately, ICJ accepted. So inside Burma is a two group. Very small minorities are support so-called stand with justice and stand with Aung San Suu Kyi. So two divided. So I mean, stand with Aung San Suu Kyi mean Aung San Suu Kyi are defending we are not genocide by the ICJ code. So the code of ICJ. So I mean, and then now military keep continue for defenses, but the same, So that case of course the ICJ or ICC even now is preparing to go for ICC too. So a lot of case, preparing, so-called IIMM system also supporting to get the ICC as well. So I mean, but of course, always people aware of the UN system is, not easy to step up, but they are ongoing long-term process. So I mean, of course, this last 2 months ago, military sent the letter for the reports to the ICJ on for very, very, very defenses, so that they are not stand yet. So I mean, that's keep going the process of always long time process, but people are also another propaganda. Oh, ICJ some will take very soon, and ICC case going up, and then later Myanmar military leader will be warranted by the ICC or something like that kind of rumors, propaganda, also another side. People are very happy. Oh, maybe next 2 months the military junta will be arrested by the international, but that's not easy. Global system is so not easy. He can easy to travel. If not, signatory or ratification country. Even in Malaysia, it's like not the ratified yet for room statute. So mean that they are now, they don't care for that issue. But anyway, they are preparing something. So mean that's I'd like to update on that ICT. Of course, regionally of very much affected and instability. Of course, Malaysia, Thailand, and many other countries are linked with this issue, or people are the country also a little bit more burdened. Of course, Bangladesh, although the one of the biggest burden because of Rohingya, 1 million Rohingya refugee there. So I mean, that's really now it's like not highlighted for Burma, more issue like, after Burma, you can see in Afghanistan crisis. And then Ukrainian issue. And then now Middle East issue, so global attention just moved to there, so much attention. So people are, I thought that so funding position also less to Burma because Burma like internet crisis. There is not the internet crisis beyond the internet crisis. So I mean, totally the Ukrainian invasion is like totally, a different position. So I mean, global attention, Europe attention, United States, seriousness, than the Burma or there. So I mean, people are, thought that in the beginning of the United Nations and some of the UN country, United Nations and US and EU can be, facilitate in some point, but unfortunately, not yet happened. So even ASEAN is not giving the Myanmar current military leader as his representation. So there's no window I can see. Both sides, we are no discussion point. No more discuss for peace for both sides. So everybody said we will fight back until both side finish, you know. So military side also never acknowledged for opposition side. Opposition side also said we will not discuss with military until we. So means that's a dynamic. I don't see. I'm really. I'm not the pessimistic, but I don't see end gain is, you know, still no hope, you know. So people are every day suffer, and you know, people lose the job. A lot of famine area are not grow because of fighting. So crop and you know something like that. So this is my first question. I think cover for 2 questions. I think.
Raymond, unmute, please. We couldn't hear you. Raymond, you are muted.
Sorry, I can see Ayesha's hand is raised. But yeah, thanks for letting us know. No, but it seems that there's no clear way forward at this point. Ayesha, please kindly unmute.
Thank you, Raymond. I'd like to ask Mio, how is the government functioning? Like, is it business as usual? Are the public hospitals still working? Are they still collecting taxes? So what is like day-to-day life, for the people under this government?
Very good question. I think if you talk about for this government functioning, we can say for 3 layers right now. Number 1 is like all the main city, like Rangoon, like Mandalay, like Naypyidaw. So Rangoon is former capital. Right now, they call the commercial capital. There where I brought at, and I lived there before I came into United States, you know. So I mean, that's my native town. So former capital, right now they call the commercial capital. And then current capital, so-called Naypyidaw. And their main government office are running and military headquarters there. So, and then Mandalay, so-called former capital under the kingdom before the colony, and then now so-called cultural capital. So like those big cities are running by the functioning by the government. Not the government, so military. That's also another crazy, you know, if I use the term like the government, opposition is very upset, you know. Oh, they are not government. They are just, you know, taking the country as it like with GAN, you know. So of course the military junta, you know, they are functioning, running for their administrative system, you know, and very well. So tax and, you know, people, healthcare, yes, but of course, Burma healthcare is never good, never be good, you know, not only now, but also previously too. Even so-called democracy government also not really well enough to spend their budget for health and education. So mean bad. But now it's a lot of people called CDM, civil disobedience movement. People left the country. So a lot of shortage of the medical profession, like medical doctor, nurses, next, and then others, you know, people who doing for pharmacy or, you know, laboratorian, and those people are very shortage and very limited. And then, so people never get access for public health care. So people are surviving with the private small clinic or who little bit knowledge about medicine. So people used to be daily life, and like, I mean, the grassroots level, daily life, people survive with medication without doctor prescription, with their own way, you know. If they are not understand, they go to the small medical shop. They said, I'm sick. I have a little bit fever. Even they don't check the fever, but they thought that they have a little bit fever. You know, I'm sick, I'm body pain or blah, blah, blah. I'm paying for somewhere, you know. So those people who are not professional or medical doctor, who retailer for the medicine shop, oh, okay. So he will provided you different medicine together, and you don't know what the name of the medicine, you know. She will come there, you can pay the money, and you took but many people have survived with this, I don't know who killed, many people died without reason for those, overdose, or I don't know that, many, this is like grassroots level. They have not enough money to go to the clinic, they just go into their own, village for some small medical store, So right, there is no system to, monitoring for this and, take care of this, always, of course, the corruption country. So if you come to the police, they pay the police some money, the police may go. So nobody care. Even, village administrator or quarter administrator, they give it some donation, formal or informal, that will go. So in that period in healthcare system, but the first layer, city, stay running by the military administration. The second layer, not the main city, those areas are partial, Some area is like arms group or so-called people defense forces, or this is run by the shadow government, opposition government. From outside the Burma, they are running the system of administration. But inside Burma, people with gang, who are so-called revolutionists, they are also ruling with their own way. So sometimes if military came for this village, military do whatever they want. The same for other so-called revolutionist group also came to here, whatever they came, they ran. So there is no medical services for both sides, no education for their students. Are today you have to go to the school, tomorrow you are not allowed to go. Your parents very much argue. So some people who are enough capacity or some limited property, they sold out those area and they moved to Rangoon or like main city. In main city, again, for bigger population, and then very increasing of the rental costs, or houses are very much expenses, even in like a new satellite town in the main city, and then that's also high cost of the food cost. So suffering, and then instability is like, of course, people who can do it, who move it out the country. Every day, 2 or 3 flights are moving, like Malaysia or Thailand or Singapore, Indonesia, even full flight going, who have enough capacity to go there. But no return flight from there, not much people, like 20 people, 10 people, so move out from the country every day. So another layer is like in fighting, like both sides. For them, like Northern Shan, Rakhine, and now even in some area in Moon State, and some area into Peninsula State. So southern, northern, eastern, southern, northern too, this side too. So near the India border too. India border also Chin ethnic groups are fighting, and China border for 3 alliance fighting, and in the Arakan state also fighting with the, now Professor said, like AA and ASA and Myanmar military, and the Peninsula is like KNDF fighting, and then Moon State also similarly, KNU, so fighting with the military. So in the middle of Burma as well, so-called new coming up for revolutionary group, who also fighting back to military. But at the same, they are independent group. Even opposition shadow government also fight them too. So crazy, so those areas are the, third layer is chaos, no education, no social services, no healthcare, no administration, no text to the current, we don't know who are the ruling. So some of the arms people, some of the group coming with arms, they asked to the village or they asked to the city, we needed for them like, $5,000 for them like, So people of, local senior people collected money from the people. Even you have no money for food, but you have to pay. Without that, you are not survive. So any group came to those places, they take the money. Oh, we are doing for fighting, but for this terrible military. So we need money. Please provide this for our food or something like that. So everywhere is like, this is the third layer. Second layer is like both sides are, playing. Of course, the main city still running under the military administration is very well functioning. So that's my response. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Any other questions or comments? Yes, Mikio, I see your hand raised. Please unmute yourself.
Thank you, Raymond, and thank you very much, Mr. Myo Wing, for your presentation. Nice to meet you again after some time. Okay, and yeah, what is happening right now? So it's a kind of puzzling, right? Now, and you mentioned, for example, about the three brother organization. So if I'm not mistaken, did you say behind the current fighting by the three brother ethnic organizations is China? So China kind of did China give the, how they say, agreement that these three organizations start fighting? This is what you say? Just I would like to make sure. Hello.
Yes, yeah, very good question, but the answer is a little bit tricky because you cannot find the formal document, formal agreement. And then, so that is without their support, these so-called three brothers cannot fight this kind of position to Myanmar military. This is open secret. That you cannot find the document because they have no document. But Chinese government said, oh, we always want your stability. But they also supported so many arms group. But arms group leader also said, China even not support even one bullet to us. Of course, they are not support, not the bullet, but they supply different way, So means, so we can say Texas understanding with China, maybe in like Yunnan government and these three alliance. Yes, without their support or funding or approval, these three brothers cannot move. This is open secret, everybody know. But I'm really shocked. It's like they have this plan, this group, they are like making the buffer with China and Burma border, But two of them are like trained by the KIA. Like for them, like AA and Ta'aung Plan, it's like Ta'aung Arms Group. These two are trained, long time, trained by the KIA, Kachin Independent Association, Kachin Independent Army, So behind that, not only these three brothers, KIA also exists. So the four arms group and also backed by the Chinese. So those all four groups they have a settle in bordering with China. So means at the same time, military also very close with China. But after very close relationship with Russia, Chinese government not so much happy with them. This is one point. The second point is like this gambling issue and human trafficking issue affected by a lot of Chinese business people. Actually, these all gangster, gangster have Chinese people, actually. So I mean, those are like, very rich people. They also drug trader globally, and then, so they also human trafficking. Many people are suffering, not only Burmese, even in some Cambodia, people also suffering. I know that, some Thai people, some of them, even in some of them, from China are suffering, and a lot of, this is some kind of, again, so that, but by the border force, Myanmar border force and the Myanmar military. So that is like, bit, angry of Chinese government or Chinese policy. So that I read about very good article about USIP analysis. United States Institute of Peace, their analysis is really good based on the ground information. And yes, I also spoke with one of them who is involved for that, working with 3 Alliance, so informal chat with me. So they are also very newly established of arms group, so-called organization called PPLA, so who are former civil society worker and activist for freedom of expression. Now he's in jungle as a leader of one of the arms group. So I mean, so like actually he studied at my institution, So I mean, I have an informal chat with him. So some of the information he said that, we cannot say for black and white, but this is like open secret. It's like, I don't know what will be, Chinese government took opportunity. A lot of bridges are broken by the three brother. So connection with the main city and their area. So that later Chinese were given the big loan again from Myanmar military with high interest, and then they will be rebuilding something like, I don't know. I mean that everything is like chaos, but at the same time, a lot of controversial, but open secret is like Chinese without support or green light, they cannot do it. Yes.
Thank you very much. And because now China is now increasingly considered as the kind of the big peacemaker in the world affairs. Like peacemaking between Saudi Arabia and Iran in Middle East, right? And then also the Ukraine conflict between Russia and Ukraine, China kind of offer the mediation, and of course now the Gaza issue, right? And China is increasingly kind of, how do I say, establishing the reputation as the world's greatest peacemaker. But just, it's kind of its backyard. Maybe Chinese may be doing something rather shady activity, so that this is not good for the China's increasing reputation. Also, I was thinking about China's possible peacemaking role in that part of the world, yeah, including and Myanmar and the China border and these things. But and I saw what is happening just now. So a bit confusing, yeah? And also, of course, the China is somehow in a good position between the Myanmar military and those ethnic groups, right? And I'm still, yeah, I'm just puzzled. So maybe China's motivation for giving the green light for these things. But anyway, thank you. And another question actually is that I heard about the kind of secret talk between Aung San Suu Kyi and the military maybe a few months ago, I think. So do you have any outcomes from this meeting? Maybe I feel also Myanmar meeting also feel maybe in a kind of the stalemate, right? Then maybe they feel maybe they need to talk with Aung San Suu Kyi. Do you know any information about this meeting and the outcomes?
Yes, I think it is like China can be, you know, first one, I'll continue. China can be in again as a architect of peace, because these three alliance or arms group are depending on China. At the same time, military also maybe depending on, you know, Chinese government instruction. So between that, okay, please stop, and then he can be is a key player of peacemaking between Myanmar military and these three brothers in future, maybe. You know, so that can be again for he can be architect of, you know, Burma peace, you know, something like that. You know, he can take a role. The same, this crisis before happening, so military allowed to meet with the former foreign minister of, now at that time he was a minister, foreign minister of Thailand. That's a first window to allow to meet with Aung San Suu Kyi and foreign minister of Thailand. That foreign minister said, Aung San Suu Kyi said she would like to talk anything like for peace and for the progress of Myanmar future or something like that. At the same time, she is not agree the point, like, you know, for armed struggle, you know, she's still keeping her non-violent struggle, you know. So I mean that message came out by the Thailand foreign minister in less about 6 months ago. And that point, you know, Myanmar military also many phasing with the different group. So people thought that they will discuss with Aung San Suu Kyi informally already, but a lot of rumors or a lot of, you know, but definitely some of the rumor are really happen, you know. So I mean, internally there is no, you know, expression by the both side, Aung San Suu Kyi side as well as for military side, no mentioning for this point, but maybe they internally they are conversation is started. If needed, another, you know, she can be taken back again for negotiation table. As a, because of many people listen to her voice, and then so I mean that's a bit problematic. Also, these rumors, you know, don't want it by the shadow government. If Aung San Suu Kyi came out and say I'm not agree on this armed struggle or fighting with the, you know, violence way, so people maybe not listen for their propaganda or their side, so they may be collapse. This is similarly happened in previous regimes, you know, so-called NCGUB is like former shadow government, you know, but after Aung San Suu Kyi relief, they are stepped down. They have no power and zero interest, or even globally or locally. So I mean, that's maybe military may use it in their final stage if they would like to be engaged, you know. This is one of the, but I don't know how people have gained already. They may follow her instruction or her recommendation or not. But this will be, this rumor is everywhere, in not only in globally but inside, but many people discuss, you know. So many of the closer person or military side who are like some of the lobby people by the military side, they also talk about for this. Oh, we are on the discussion point. You know, one day Aung San Suu Kyi will be with military together, stand with together. So she may come back for peace. And she may never accept for this fighting back with violence way, something like that. So I mean, that would be the another point everywhere in propaganda. I think definitely maybe 90% or 85% sure, but we have no exact information. This is divided, you know. segregated with her and the public. At the same time, military not talk about at all. But we have some rumors again. The second person, military will allow the meeting point with Chinese foreign minister will meet soon with Aung San Suu Kyi. So this another rumors, you know. So I mean, you know, so Myanmar military were allowed to meet with Chinese foreign minister and then to her. So I mean, China, so they call it India also playing 1.5 track meeting with for Obama, right? So that also another initiative. India also playing some point. China also the playing some point. I think this between the connection is like Thailand is between.
Okay.
Thailand is between. So I mean, that's like my analysis on that, you know, point. Thank you so much. So
Thank you, Myo Win. Yeah,
Thank you.
we have Toshikazu
Thank you.
Izumi. He has his hands raised. Yes, please unmute. Kindly unmute so we can hear you. Yes, go ahead.
Oh, thank
Yeah.
you, Raymond, Ciriaco, and Myo Wing, about your speech. And my question is about, I have two questions. First is about recent situation in Shan State region. Many news agencies reported, such as the BBC, reported a turning point in Myanmar, the army suffers big losses. It says Myanmar, the rebellion started a series of setbacks against military bases situated on border of with China and overrun military bases and control some region. And my question about the recent situation in Shan State, rebellion control full state or not? And our second question is about the Japanese government. I mean, you know, Japanese government is told to be supportive to Myanmar's military government, and Aung San Suu Kyi criticized the Japanese government is too supportive to military government, and recently her second son released from the said also Japanese government is too supportive to Japan, to military government. So they are not, they don't believe Japanese government. So what do you think of Japanese government, and what should we do in Japan, you think? That's all. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you
yes,
for your question. Yeah, go ahead.
I think this is very much, you know, I just wanted to forget to say about that, you know. After this started for the crisis in 2023 in October, unfortunately, we are not so hard yet for Japanese government side to express their expression. So-called the mission 1027. So the mission started October 27. So so this is 3 lines in Shan State, fighting back. But the yes, the Japanese government is like, you know, they are playing in the both sides. Sasakawa Foundation is a key role, to playing for the whole process. Well, between not only with military, but also some of the officers from Aung San Suu Kyi government, Aung San Suu Kyi party. At the same time, they also very close with some of the arms group. But those arms groups are not China, but arms group, So China's armed group now fighting. So those armed group like, more new, more new party, something like that. So this arms group, one of the arms group in the Moon State, this is backed by the Sasakawa Foundation right now. So I mean, that's another official, of course, not the official document, that they are very close with the Sasakawa Foundation and that arms group. So currently, Japanese influence one arms group is, more arms group, So I mean, Moon Arms Group is not started to fight to Myanmar military yet. So I mean, I'd like to be highlighted that, so I mean, even those people said that Japanese government is like supported to military, but there is no point, no evidence how they support to Myanmar military. There's no evidence. At the same time, they are also connection with military as well as some of members of Aung San Suu Kyi party. At the same time, they also connection with some of the arms group. So this, three group are they also connection with the Japanese government. So I mean, Japan, my understanding is, Japanese policy may not be against with US in generally. So, but at the same time, US is now publicly against Myanmar military, but the access point is like Japan, So Japan is stay good access with the different group, military, Aung San Suu Kyi party, and some of the arms group. If needed, they can play some role. But even Japanese government, they not do it officially. So they use the Sasakawa Foundation. Sasakawa Foundation is key player for the whole process. So I mean, tactics and strategy, my understanding and my knowledge is like more like seeing their tactics behind some of the strategy with, I don't know, Japanese government and Europe and US, how linked with this. At the same time, Russia and their alliance is in the different way. And then now China is main role, keep playing everything. Now China's border is shut off. All border trade was shut off. You see, last 3 days ago, more than 250 truck, food, enough food, truck in Shan State that banning down. A lot of millions of dollar loss. That truck go to China. Some of the truck go in from China. So terrible. So I think that's really Japanese role maybe in future, maybe also kind of, important or crucial, but currently not much visible yet. So I just wanted to confirm that I don't know, Aung San Suu Kyi upset for Japanese government. She didn't say that in my information, she didn't say about Japanese issue because she's in house arrest. So she talked about the last time she talked about with public is via Thailand foreign minister. That is the last access point. What she said, something like that. So they are not allowed, even her lawyer not allowed to meet with her. Almost 1 year already, not allowed to meet. Her son is like requesting several times to meet, to get the visa and to meet with her mom, but they are not allowed. So I mean, internally, they have very serious discussion with her. And then not show up. For people, maybe people thought that 2024, in the beginning of 2024, maybe she will come up some way and talk about something, because a lot of rumors also came out, her health not really well. That may be also rumor by the military. So people thought that, oh, how much people interested about her, something like that. They will check it there. So I mean, she's testing something. So I think they may care her health, definitely, because she is like one of the precious stone of them. This is final point, in case military can use her. And she's under their hand, So I mean, she's very powerful, even if president is not powerful. Nobody interested for president who are arrested, Nobody care, So just like, one of the puppet of her, So I mean, everybody know it, I mean that. So that's my understanding and my response. Maybe you may fit or not. Thank you.
Okay, so you're saying she remains a key figure, and it seems
Thank
that
you very
all of
much.
these rumors also play a role in their strategy. So until we hear something definite, as you've said, there's nothing that's official that's really come out. Some of these rumors have been maybe for their own specific purpose. Would we have any other comments or questions coming from regular members or students? Please
How about students?
feel free. Kindly unmute and introduce yourself.
Jam is ready again, but give the chance to students first.
Go ahead, please. Feel free to ask questions. Just unmute and briefly introduce and then ask your questions.
If not, may I first?
Yes, go ahead. Suho, please.
Okay.
Feel free.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Nguyen. Okay, you are the Myanmar update. As far as I know, what the name of your country is, the Republic of the Union of Myanmar, right? Different ethnic groups. So I think if this like a civil war lasts long, I think the unity or the harmony among different ethnic groups will be quite difficult. Okay, as the main purpose of your like forming the country, right? Like promoting the unity and harmony among different groups, different ethnic groups. Okay, so I'm very concerned about it. And Mr. Nguyen, what do you expect your future, okay, of Myanmar, okay? Because do you think the restoration of the democratization or democracy could be achieved? Of course, achieved in the long run, but will you expect this, like the military, this this regime will last quite a long time? Okay. What is your prediction? Okay, about the future.
Yes, very good question. It's like I wish, like better Burma or better Myanmar, but state people are suffering. But my prediction is like not so much. Both sides said, we will abolish. Military side said also we will abolish. And then opposition said, although we will abolish this military. I think my prediction is impossible for both sides. Even this military is never be surrender. Even surrenders group of the military, other group, maybe even the, you know, like my imagination taken by the so-called democratic shadow government take the power, part of the military will be rebel again. So I mean,
Yeah.
the civil war always keeping. My prediction is they should be sit together and then discuss and then trying to find solution. Military also should take back their own place. And then to be inclusive, democratic, not only by the government change, but also should be changed by their system of apartheid, system of, you know, apartheid, system of, you know, segregation, system of, you know, discrimination, system of, you know, terrorizing, you know, brutality should be end, you know. Without that, the civil war always never done. That's my prediction. So my prediction is like, we have hope. Of course, people work living with hope, you know. So how much I hopeless? So I keep 1 year after the coup, even though a lot of dangerous condition inside Burma. So unfortunately, I decided to move out.
Okay, follow-up questions from Professor
Yes.
Bernard and then Professor Suwit afterwards.
Right.
Yes, Bernard, go
So
ahead.
the last, my point is like, first question. The secondly, another 1.5 year, my family keep there, stay live there, you know. But today, they are now flying to United States, you know. My wife and 2 kids, they will be arriving today.
Oh, good.
I may be next 3 hours to pick up them at the airport. So
Happy reunion.
so the our security, you know, our securement is not, you know, up, always down, so decreasing. So not only us, but also many people similar situation, you know. So I'm thinking first year, oh, I should keep trying to keep lift, you know, some area I have to be, you know, targeted by the special branch, you know, but I'm trying to my own, you know, risk medication with, you know, but the same, I move out my alone, and then now 1.5 year I'm here, so there is no survival for education. For our generation, we are thinking our generation, you know, security. When will come to Rangoon, you know, very soon. Now it's like some area like, you know, 82 miles away from my city, they are fighting already. Very close, you know. So in that side, for the northern side, only 60 miles away in gunfighting, one will be coming soon. So in the city center, even though military administration is well enough, but a lot of checkpoint, everywhere checking, you know, taking the money. My wife said she gave it several money for the police. And without reason, they stop the car and look at the car and could you please give some money? So mean security, secureness is losing, you know, losing. So mean, so they will be landed today. They are now on the way.
Okay, I'm glad you'll be reunited with your family soon, but
Right.
it's not so comforting to hear what's been going on at the center. A follow-up question, Professor Bernard, please unmute.
Yes, not a follow-up. I just would like to read a comment emailed to me by one of my female students, Daniel Ann Cabonero, who's a member of ASEAN Youth Advocates Network based in Manila. And she says, one of the projects we had, for example, Women's Month, we created informative posts on notable ASEAN women such as Aung San Suu Kyi. aside from this, one of the things I won't forget was during the coup d'etat in Myanmar last 2021. We had members affected by the coup. It was a little saddening that we could not do much other than raise awareness online. I remember writing a post about why slacktivism cannot save Myanmar, and it was a bit ironic that I could only do my part through social media. End quote. So I just wanted to share that. So Myo-win, stay safe.
Yeah, glad to be reunited. You'll be reunited with your family. So we have two other people, Dr. Suwit and Zam. Please go ahead, unmute.
Yeah, Melvin, very glad to see you again. I think you actually already said something which may answer my questions already. There's a rumors in Thailand right now that the military government will not last for the next 10 days. Would that be any substance in that, or it just a ploy of someone who want to get more money to Thai military to supervise the border area?
Yes, I think this rumor may not be. I think this rumor can be happen within 10 days, But some area in northern, yes, military lose some of their position. But at the same time, of course, the three brother alliance are attacking to the military, taking some of the military, some of the places, but there is no administrative strategy by the three brothers. They can take some of the steps, but how many days they can keep for this area? So that's another subject, So there is no good strategy for the administration, for their own administration. So I don't know how their intention is like, how long will take it from those areas. Yes, military now step back those areas, and they took, but the same, there is no administrative strategy by them or administrative, how can I say, planning, or I don't know what the structure, structural issue. They just like a fighting. Yes, they can be good fighter. Maybe there's no administration, but people already move from those areas, flee different place. So I mean, some of them are just near us, like a camp, because of everywhere bomb and can, or so I mean, so where is their administration? It's like that. Also another question. So I mean, even shadow government are not direct link with this three brother alliance, but the propaganda, this three brother alliance not fight for democracy. To be honest, three brother alliance fight for their ethnic right. Their background is, So means that the lobby of the opposition side take advantage. Oh, three brother is fighting for democracy together with our shadow government, or blah, blah, blah. They are not directly, no connection with direct link with this shadow government at all. So I mean, that's both sides. That's why the people are really, really suffering, live under this rumors and fake news, misinformation, disinformation. That's the main problem of Burma, I think. So I mean, that's my response,
Yeah. So
Okay,
ethnic
thank you.
factors
Thank you.
play a role, and the ethnic factor seem to complicate the situation. I mean, in contrast to Thailand, their military is always loyal to the monarchy. So I guess that gives a sort of a more stable situation where business goes on as usual. But the breakdown in Myanmar a stark contrast because there are ethnic groups that are further creating that division, but people do not really agree with the military, and the military have disregarded the elections, the election results. So that's why it's a strange challenge that Myanmar has created and have found itself. Zach,
One point,
back to you. Yeah,
one point I'd
please
like
go
to
ahead.
add. I'd like to add one point that, if move forward can rule, Burma will be the different title dynamic. Because of his speeches, a lot of his speeches are very close with, collaboration with the Burmese democratic activists. And then, his vision is really greater than for current regimes, So I mean, so I don't know, good people never get a power, So that is the reality, So I mean, it's like in Southeast Asia, not only Southeast Asian politics, I don't know, globally that is, People are very good. It's so good. You never get a power.
Raymond, just
Yes.
a quick response
Go
to
ahead,
you
please.
about military and the royal family. Yesterday, former Prime Minister General Prayut has been appointed as a Privy Councillor. Okay.
Yeah, okay, he's still there. At least he won't be that unhappy with the results of the elections. Okay, go ahead, Sam. Go ahead, please.
All right. Thank you for giving me another chance in the second round for myself. Yeah, I was hoping that, with Thailand getting a civilian prime minister, that the policies will change, from the Thai side. But we all know that the military is so strong in Thailand and still have so much influence. And I don't think there will be, dramatic major changes in policies in regards to their relations with Myanmar. On another note, because I've been working on southern Thailand, the peace panel has already been announced, and the chair of the peace panel for the southern Thailand peace process is a non-military person, somebody from the National Security Council. So that is a plus there. So moving from the military to more civilian-led process, although still the military are still there, and we have to be aware of their presence. So that's just my addition to that one. But my question to Myo Win is that in regards to ASEAN, I want to ask about ASEAN. What's your assessment of ASEAN's efforts, especially in regards to the 5-point consensus that that ASEAN has in regards to the situation in Myanmar, and basically, I mean, I don't know about you. I want your assessment, but I myself have been rather disappointed, thinking first that with Indonesia as the lead, as the ASEAN chair for this year, we're gonna get some movement forward in regards to not only implementing properly the 5-point consensus, but to really move on, to really do some concrete things, with the lead of Indonesia, because Indonesia, before becoming chair, has been, quite vocal in regards to the situation in Myanmar. But unfortunately, is same old position. And in the review of the 5-point consensus in September, just a couple of months ago, ASEAN came out with a review and a decision, and it's basically same story, saying they are unhappy with the situation, and to continue with all those things under the 5-point consensus. And in regards to the special envoy to Myanmar, I mean, I don't see much difference. So moving beyond 2023, because next year we're going to have a new chair and Laos is coming in. Do you see any, any improvement, under Laos leadership, or is it going to be, the same old story? I was hoping the Ambassador Razlan would be around, because I mean, I was gonna, ask him some question about Indonesia, but he's not around, so I will not ask that question. But your assessment about ASEAN, Muyawin. Thank you.
Yes, ASEAN is like, actually they are in the good key role to play on Myanmar. But even in United States, Europe, even all their statements also refer to the ASEAN. But the 5-point consensus is never be implemented. And that's they also making for new working group, former chair, like Cambodia, and then nearest current chair, current chair, like, Indonesia, and then coming chair for Laos. So they make it for 3 country, people from 3 countries for a group to deal with in the longer future. So that may be linked with for each of them, something like that the idea is. But their initiative is not officially started yet. They just formed, but not started yet. But between that, Thailand minister is only one, the person who get a chance to meet with the both side military, and then for the Aung San Suu Kyi. So mean that also a lot of controversy among the ASEAN country too, So Thailand said that we are on bordering country, we are suffering a lot from Myanmar crisis. That's why we are initiated. So ASEAN said we are playing for this people. So but Myanmar government is not, after Indonesian, taken as a lead for a lot of criticism for Myanmar military. It's like good sign for the opposition side. But the same military side, they're not so happy. And then, so they also, another point is like, Indonesia is part of the, OIC country. So in the Gambia against Myanmar in ICJ is on behalf of OIC. So I mean, that's why, kind of in rumors making, propaganda making by the military side. Oh, this OIC is like Muslim propaganda countries, so-called. So that also making, a chaos in the country, as well as some of them making rumors inside Burma. People are so-called Buddhist nationalists among them, So that's also another exit, So I mean, ASEAN can role a great player, but the reality is I think there is no good mechanism by the ASEAN and to make more attention to Burma. So I mean, at the same time, Singapore is some criticism. At the same time, Singapore also, between Myanmar government and some other country, is a gun trading. Singapore are exits. So me, really, my assessment is like ASEAN, but one point is like maybe in next year's, current Laos, yes. Laos is very much close with the China. So that may be China ASEAN, dialogue or something. How much exists for Burma, that we have to, more like, focus on that. At the same time, in the leadership of Laos, how China can influence via Laos. That also another analysis we need to, focus, and we need to check, and we need to do analysis. I think that would be how favorable position or China move policy to Burma via ASEAN or not. So that's why I think they make it for three country representative working group for Myanmar, for Indonesia, Cambodia, and Laos. So currently, so of course, Malaysia is like a little bit now less speaking about Burma compared with previous foreign minister. You know, for previous foreign minister Dato Saifuddin, he very much criticism to Myanmar military. He support to shadow government, so-called NUG, National Unity Government, officially, publicly. But the current changes of administration, so current foreign minister not much talk about for Burma, but he may not be not much aware of Myanmar issue, because Saifuddin is long time working with civil society, people with civil society, people with different role, you know. He visited to Burma for several times, you know, before Minister Shade, you know, even I was very close with him too. You know, even he visited my office in Rangoon when he was in chairman of the Global Moderator movement, GMM. So before taking as a foreign ministership, you know. So I mean, he visited to Burma and he visited to my office too in his physical presence. You know, I mean, he know many of Burmese civil society actor. You know, so I mean, he got a different information, and then from that's my point of view is like, I'm not so much satisfied for ASEAN rule, you know. So people from ASEAN, you know, people of leader of the ASEAN, you know, they're not much so focused on that, you know, doing with their own. I don't know, their policy is not so much clear, but I have to be more tracking, you know, for 2024 more, I think. Thank you so much.
Okay. We have one question that's on the message, the chat group. Did not identify himself. It says visitor, but I'd like to read it. I'd like to know if it's relatively okay for foreigners who are working, expatriates in Myanmar, to live there. I mean, how is it given the low security situation?
Yes, currently there is no security for international. So many countries, like previously, we can say America, Europe, and some other country not recommend for their citizens to go to visit to Burma. But now China government too. Some of the announcement of foreign ministry, they are not even in. They are announced that who are inside Burma for Chinese citizen immediate return back for China. So compared with last decade, long time America and Europe travel ban to Burma, but China is only Essex. But now even China, you know, announcement return back for their people to China immediately. So I mean, that's not good sign. I mean, that's I like to be focused on that, but still survive in the like, you know, main city like Rangoon or Mandalay. Even Naypyidaw is not much safe enough, you know. Naypyidaw is like military base, you know. So anything can be happen. So I mean, I'm not really recommend for travel to Burma right now for as a foreign people. Even people from inside, they move out, you know,
okay,
because of their safety.
Yeah, and I'm glad your family is joining you soon. So I'm
Yes.
really relieved to know you'll be reunited with your family soon. Andile, is that how I should pronounce your name? Andile. Kindly unmute for your question so we can hear you. Yes, kindly unmute.
Andile,
You're muted now.
Kindly unmute so we can hear you. Yes, go ahead.
you have audio problem. I couldn't hear
Yeah.
you.
Please try turning it. Yeah, we cannot hear your microphone. Sorry, Andile. It's not muted, but we cannot hear your voice. Maybe you can put your question on the chat thread because we cannot hear your voice. It's not coming out. Sorry, I can't hear it. Maybe there's something wrong with your microphone. We cannot hear it. If you have a microphone, you may have to plug it in your computer. There's no audio. You may want to type it in. Anyway, while you were waiting for that, maybe Abdullahi Mawia, you may want to start ahead. Yes.
Thank you very much, Yao Wing, for your presentation. I want to actually ask in the course of your presentation, you have been mentioned that the Burma is like a junction, it's bordered with China and the India, and you have been mentioned a kind of the role played by China, the Russia, and the Thailand. But I want to ask, is there any role played by India, either through the military government or with other smaller ethnic groups? Is there any role by Indian government in the course of this thing? That's the question. Thank you.
Yes, I think India also playing in some point, but not the the ratio like in China. India also bordering with Burma. Their border also a fighting area, with the Chin ethnic group and Myanmar military too. So, but some of the Myanmar refugees in Mizoram, so Indian border, other in India side, So India is a two policy. It's crazy, but main government is like general federal government. We can say like federal government is like very close with Myanmar military right now. But the bordering like a Mizoram government, for example, like they are Congress government, of course, So they're not a party from Modi, So I mean they are really kind, for a lot of shelter, a lot of food supply for Myanmar refugee. But the main government is not really supported for Myanmar refugee coming into, India. That is like to be highlighted that, The secondly, also, they also wanted to be power play with China too, for Burma. Point, So I mean that's why they now initiated 1.5 track, meeting, 1.5 track meeting in India, in Delhi, I think less July, I think, or once they have done. Before 6 months ago, initiated some their internal core group meeting, and then later more broader group discuss about Burma. They call 1.5 track meeting, but some of the international NGO are invited to as an observer, So that I like to be good connection with some of them from US organization. They are also participated or as an observer. They're not allowed to discuss, but they can be observed and they can be chatting informally, outside the meeting. So I mean, I got some of the initiative they are also doing, but their initiative is not so visible yet. But they just, I think my understanding is my analysis and my point of view for India is just only they also making access point. They don't want to lose the access point with Burma. So because of Chinese influence is huge, and yes, but informally, some of the meeting with the Chinese president and India Prime Minister Modi in meeting for their a meeting for Burma, they will be mutually working together, something like that they said. So I mean, this is a state policy on that, So, but I think current condition is Myanmar is like suffering, like India also not really good policy for people perspective, not for by the authority perspective, good policy to Burma, particular for this BJP, BJP policy is like. So Congress may be different position, Congress, if Congress is no hope to coming back, So I mean still Modi is popular leader, it's like he also genocider for, US banned his visa long time. As soon as he got a power, US welcomed him. So he said AI. A mean America, I mean India. The age of AI, something like that. He said A mean America, I mean he was in here in DC. He spoke like he spoke like this, you know. So a little bit, you know. So thank you. That's my response, you know.
Okay, thank you very much. Any other question? Andile, if you can hear me, I tried to chat because unfortunately we cannot hear you. So I would appreciate if you could chat your question at least so we can raise it to the forum. Okay, any other comments from our audience, from the students, from the regular members? Okay, unless there's any other questions, I give this back to you, Sung Ho.
Okay, thank you. And it's time is almost up. And okay, today's forum is very exciting. It was very exciting and very productive. And okay, we had a very good discussion. First of all, thank you, Mr. Myoin, for your presentation, sparing your time, and you got up at 5:30. Okay, 5:30 in the early morning. Okay, thank you. And one good news, you have your family reunion today, and you should go out to pick up your family members, your wife and your children. Okay, so I think it's wonderful. Also today, Mr. Raymond Ciriaco is as a moderator, okay, just presides over this forum very well, okay, and also wonderful, participants, okay, in addition to our regular members, bunch of these students, okay, from mostly Malaysia, and we expect more students next forum, okay. Okay, I'll announce briefly the next schedule. I already announced that our forum will be held, okay, every 2 weeks, okay, every 2 weeks, okay. And next forum, December 7th, okay, December 7th, 2 weeks later, still we have two forums, these forums, okay, two programs. We'll finish our this Global Thursday Forum this year, December 21st, okay, 21st. And you need more like your own time, okay, at the end of this year, right? You are like some, year-ending party or some gathering or some Christmas or something. Anyway, next 2 weeks later, December 7th, we have our schedule plan of this forum. Here, Dr. Mikio Oishi, Professor Mikio Oishi, he's now, based in Konkan, the University, International College. And the topic is very interesting. So
Mr. Ka, Mr.
Yes.
Ka, oh yes, December 7th is next week. Okay,
December
1 week
7th.
later.
Oh, let me check. December 7th next week?
Yes.
That's correct.
Oh, I'm
the
sorry.
anniversary of
Yeah,
Pearl
because
Harbor.
right. We need to the close. I mean, the finish our forum somewhat earlier. That's why we chose December 7th, maybe. Okay, yeah, right, Mikio Oishi, we discussed it. So, okay, December 7th next week, and 2 weeks later, 21st is our last, the forum. Anyway, thank you for correcting this the schedule. Okay, December 7th next week, and this topic is current concerns for peace in East Asia, a perspective from the Japanese archipelago. Okay, archipelago, very interesting topic. The East Asian issue, okay, and the peace, okay, in East Asia, and we welcome, still the students, okay, the young members, youth members to join us. So I thank you, the Izumi-san reminded me. Okay, I thought it 2 weeks later, but December 7th is next week, right, next week. So, we'll see you next week if you can spare time. Hope to see you, okay? And I should say, goodbye and okay. Somewhat good night and have a good day. Okay, today.
Thank you, everyone. Bye.
See you next
Thank you very
week.
much.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Okay,
Okay,
Thank you,
bye-bye.
Myo Wing.
You.
Bye.
Bye.